before we get into macro stuff, we've talked a lot about Bitcoin. I wanted to quickly ask you about ETH. My thinking is that there's a lot of victory lapping going on in the ETH, the beleaguered ETH community, because it's, obviously the price has doubled or more than doubled from the lows. But what I think, like my take before I pass it over to you, is I think these guys who are happy about this price action in ETH kind of look like clowns. And the reason why is, no one who listens to this podcast has been debating between holding ETH and holding US dollars. Like, you're just debating between holding ETH and holding some other crypto token, whether it be Bitcoin or altcoins. So if you look at the ETH BTC chart, the thing has gone down in a straight line for, basically since 2020, since December of 2021. It peaked at 0.09 and it sold off all the way to 0.018 or 017. And now it's like bounced off of those lows. So we're still down 80% from the peak. And everybody's like, look, I'm so happy. ETH is so great. And what I think is like, actually, if you're thinking that way, you're literally just revealing that you held ETH all the way down, got absolutely daddied on it, and you're just happy that the sell-off stopped and you've still underperformed Bitcoin massively, which is a more obvious trade. So to me, like,
I've got a slightly more nuanced
bottomed, basically, is
the
question here, or is this going to keep going?
Well, here's what I'll say. I think some criticism is fair in the sense that like ETH popped off the lows. It had that like 30, it was like a 30% candle in a week, and then it went sideways for a bit, and everyone was like, ETH is still fucked, ETH is still fucked, ETH is still fucked, and then ETH proceeded to pull another 30% move higher. And so people are like, they're seeing that number, and to be completely fair, it's like, better to catch that turn. Like I would have much rather pivoted my Bitcoin to ETH and then held that ETH until now than maybe sold it back out. I didn't really take that trade, as you guys are aware.
Nobody picks the lows, though. That's my point.
But I guess the other thing that is happening is that ETH just became so undervalued relative to historic price. If you look at it versus Bitcoin, I mean, it went to levels that we hadn't seen since 2019 versus Bitcoin. And I think what happened is that Wall Street just picked up on that, and they were like sniffing around, kind of in the same way that Wall Street loved Ripple. Is that Wall Street was like, well, if Ripple can go to, like the not Wall Street, I'm maybe 22 to 27-year-old finance bros, more accurate than just saying Wall Street. But yeah, so that group of people was like, oh wow, like maybe Ripple will be able to hit $600 because then it'll be at par with BTC. And I think a little bit of that mentality is what's happening with ETH combined with the treasury vehicles, right? ETH is the second largest asset, right? Which means that it has a lot of supporters. It has a lot of people that own a lot of it. And it does have a story, however true or fake that story is. And so it kind of outperformed because there was a gap in the market. And the gap in the market is Bitcoin's feeling overpacked right now. Where else can I go to generate outsized returns? That's what I'm hearing from even people on, like even more TradFi people is like, yeah, okay, Bitcoin doubles 200,000, like 250,000, 2.5, like whatever. Like what can I get that'll 5 to 10x in crypto? And people are looking at ETH, and that's a role that it can fill. I mean, it's the catch-up play. And my previous thinking was there's not going to be a significant catch-up play because ETH is kind of like, it's kind of done. Like it doesn't really have anything going for it anymore. And Wall Street's going to sniff that out, and the traditional guys are going to sniff that out, and the people that own Bitcoin ETFs are going to sniff that out, and then they're just not going to allocate because this is in theory smarter money. And I think that what's turning out to be true is that they're not that afraid of buying ETH. They're not that afraid of going down the risk curve, and that's actually where they like that's where they can go down the risk curve
Yeah.
is ETH. They can't really go down the risk curve anywhere else because they're stuck in their brokerage accounts.
So basically, I think Chris, I think it's pronounced Bernisky, tweeted that bullish price action is the best content marketing.
I mean, it's true.
And it's so true. So like ETH, the only reason why I think I could construct a bull case for ETH is that we just broke a downtrend and we're like, this rally is real now. It's not just a dead cat bounce to be faded. I was wrong. I thought it was a dead cat bounce to be faded. I wasn't wrong for like a huge amount of money, but I was wrong. It rallied another 30% from the first 30% rally. And basically like I'm questioning whether or not this rally can continue. I don't care that much because I'm so like I'm still so bullish Bitcoin. I can't see straight, and I think it's a smarter idea to buy Bitcoin with leverage than it is to buy ETH. Mm-hmm. But just before I totally like put the final nail in the coffin on ETH for the next month or two, like just asking myself, is it worth a trade? Should I own some ETH right now? Avi, do you actually think ETH can 5 to 10x if Bitcoin 2x's? Like, I don't. I think that would be insane. But do you?
I think so. I think ETH could. Here's the thing especially with these treasury companies that are now like the buyer of ETH. I do think that ETH could double from here. I'm not calling for that. I think that ETH will probably continue to outperform Bitcoin until the treasury company stuff unwinds, because it's right now like the treasury is a much smaller part of the Ethereum ecosystem, but the dollar value that is willing to go into these things are basically, I think, will be equal at some point. And so I think ETH can attract a larger percentage of those flows. So I do think that based on market structure, ETH is looking pretty good. I think based on long-term 5 to 10 year prospects, ETH is still exactly where it was when I said that it was a piece of shit.
It really is the XRP of this cycle, isn't it? It's trading just like XRP. Like you can't write it off, but it's still a dino coin, you know? It's like the dino coin that doesn't go away.
Who knows? Maybe it'll turn it around. Maybe they'll turn it themselves around. I don't know. I have like what maybe somebody will show me what they're doing to fix themselves, because I'm not seeing anything yet.
I mean, but I don't hate. Let me just qualify.
It's just price action, Jonah. Like you understand, like it's just price action that's making people excited.
Yeah, it's like trading a meme. I mean, like don't get me wrong. I do a lot on Base. I think Base is great. It's I find that a lot of my on-chain activity and on-chain like fiddling is on Base. But to me, Base just feels like it's basically the Amazon Web Services of crypto. It's just like Coinbase's ledger that's centralized and like pretends to be a part of ETH. So I struggle to get bullish like the expensive block space mainnet and its associated asset on the basis of institutions coming into the space or some sort of like fundamental story, because realistically, like Kyle Samani said it best: the future of ETH is Base. So I don't know what that means for ETH fundamentals, but ETH technicals look incredible right now. We just broke a 4-year downtrend, and the timeline's about it.
The technicals look better than I could have hoped for. I mean, these are fucking phenomenal technicals. It's just like I think all of our ETH to diagnose a mistake with us, and what at least a mistake with me is that I was so focused on the fact that ETH was not. It's like still a trash platform. It wasn't generating any meaningful usage. It wasn't generating anything particularly exciting on the project side. It basically was like a hub for stablecoins, and that's it. And continues to be. I overlooked like how fucking good the technicals became.
Yeah. The thing is, though, like I think writing off ETH after the first bounce, you do not have to self-flagellate for missing good technicals. Like that 30% bounce was like countless other 30% bounces on the ETH BTC chart that would have been phenomenal sales over the past 4 years. It's now we've got the second 30% bounce. Now the technicals are good for the first time. So I think I I don't think you need to worry about having missed the second 30% bounce. It's just more like, okay, are we about to miss 100% rally from here in the ETH BTC chart? Now the technicals are good, whereas before they weren't. And the fundamentals are still like trash. So I'm not a very good technical trader, never have been. I'm probably going to stay away because I don't believe in like going in big on things that I don't consider to be my edge or my core competency. Like I consider myself to be more of a fundamental trader, more of a macro trader. And if a chart looks good, like I'm not good at assessing that. You're better than me at that. So maybe this is a better opportunity for traders out there who are more like Avi, for traders who are more like macro narrative thinkers who don't understand technicals like me. I think it's okay to be sidelined. That's sort of my like. I will feel happy for ETH bag holders and understand why they put on the trade if they do, but I just can't get my head around it. And the reason why it's bad to put on a trade that you can't get your head around, even if you feel confident in it, is that if you start losing money, you have no framework to cling to. You just sell on the lows like a jackass. So that's why I don't like doing those things.
Fair enough. I think that's a good place to end. Don't be a fucking jackass.
Yeah. Nothing said on the 1000X podcast is a recommendation to buy or sell any investments or products. This podcast is for informational purposes only, and the views expressed by anyone on the show are solely their opinions, not financial advice or necessarily the views of Blockworks. Our hosts, guests, and the Blockworks team may hold positions in the company's funds or projects discussed.